Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. The Knicks 2-0 lead in the series. All heart, all grit, no quit. Close knit. Against all odds, the New York Knicks prevail with another 20-point comeback. Can you believe it? What we just witnessed tonight in Boston, and the New York Knicks are in the box seat to win the series with heroics from the squad. Never say die attitude. Let's break it down. Salute to everyone out here. If you can hear me, you're buzzing. The Knicks are buzzing. And we are here right now. Shout out haters. Shout out to the doubters. And definitely shout out to the people that believe in this squad, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One of the most craziest, insane games I've witnessed in my lifetime. And we've done this back to back right now. And we're going to cuss tonight. You know, it's going to be tough to keep things clean in the chat, man. You are free to while out in this one, man. I'm in shock still. I'm going to be completely honest, man. Completely in shock still. But, I mean, how many times can we be in shock with what this team has done, right? Heroic performance. They stayed in it. I mean, most of us said, just stay in the game, man. Stay in the game. And anything is possible. Anything can happen, man. And we look at the stop. That got it done, man. Mitchell Robinson switching out on the perimeter. OG Anunoby holding him in check. And of course, Midi Bridges with the play of the game. Once again, man, back to back. F those picks. F them picks right now, man. Ain't nobody talking about picks. We're very proud. I see T in the building. What's up, JT? Yours truly, Mike, Chance, Altango, Rye, we here. Johnny, Vaughn, Ernest, we here. Kerry, what's good? Ladies and gentlemen, Mets, Knicks, let's go. On the road, man. Talk about road kill. Road warriors. The New York Knicks are now undefeated in these playoffs on the road, man. 5-0. Let that sink in, man. 5-0. We leave Boston stunned, man. You know, F Colin Coward. F Brian Windhorst. And a lot of these haters that didn't give the Knicks any respect. Oh, but the Celtics, you know, they might go cold. You know, they might go cold, all right. The 3-point looks, man. The New York Knicks held them in check, man. Very predictable. But shout out to the Knicks defense, man. What a gritty performance in this situation right now. And we are absolutely buzzing, man. Mikal Bridges is him. Brunson is him. Brunson got the go-ahead bucket. Tatum and then obviously got the drive to go up one. And then Brunson drew the foul. 2 free throws, man. Ice in his veins. Right. And the Garden is going to be absolutely rocking for games 3 and 4, man. It's going to be the hottest ticket in town. Man, good luck getting into that building. Man, you are privileged if you can get into MSG. I thought the Celtics did answer the call. You know, after game 1, they started strong. The crowd, you know, did their thing, helped them sort of get back into it a bit. Obviously, the officiating was really one-sided in this one, in my opinion. Brunson was getting hit, barely shooting any free throws. I think the Knicks had 7 free throws, you know, late in the third. We're going to look at the box score right now. And as I pull up this graphic, guys, man, how unbelievable is this? Right. This was an absolute, this was a robbery, you know, absolute robbery. If you look at the wire-to-wire, epic choke job from the Boston Celtics, man, of catastrophic proportions, man. This will be one of the biggest choke jobs in NBA history, let alone Boston Celtics history. They had a 20-point lead for the second consecutive game. But shout out to the heart of the New York Knicks, right? It was the grit. It was the will and never giving up. And here they are taking that lead, man. OG Anunoby, man, that dunk was one of the best dunks I've ever seen. It's a shame that Tibbs did not challenge that call, right? Everyone was screaming for him, but we stayed in it, man. We stayed in it. Eric Stack says, boy, do our Knicks give us heart. Attack or what? Great win. Let's go, baby. Knicks Nation, we hear. CC says, playoff bridges is a real thing. David's in the house. Shock the world, baby. Buzzer beater says, Tibbs' second half adjustments were fire. Yeah, I like him keeping Mitchie out there, man, to get that extra foul, get them in the bonus. Then he subbed Mitchie out. Look, man, the Knicks turned it over 15 times, but then we did force Boston into 16 turnovers as well. Boston had so many second chance points as well. We would have been in this game a lot earlier. But Mikal Bridges fueled the comeback, right? We're going to look back. This is the Mikal Bridges game. Make no mistake about it, man. His mid-range, the offense was running well, looking for him. I think it sort of threw Boston off because it's like, okay, they're so keyed in on Brunson. And it's like, all right, Mitty Bridges is the one on fire. And we were feeding him almost to a fault at times. But he fueled the comeback. And the closer helped close it out. But we got it with another stop. Grittiness defensively, man. A throwback to the 90s New York Knicks on the road, man. Absolutely road warriors in this one, man. And I'm so proud. I'm still in shock. Obviously, if you're a Boston fan, we've seen epic collapses. What about yesterday? What about last night in Cleveland? And Indiana are up 2-0. New York Knicks up 2-0. It's time to start dreaming and believing now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start believing in this squad, right? The series is far from done, man, in the words of Kobe, right? We're going to take care of business. Let's bring that grit, that focus back to New York, man, and shut these leprechauns out, man. We handled our business in Beantown, and we need to shut them out, man. Prezi says, keep feeding the hot hand. Vaughn says, Josh Hart, game ball. Juan V says, I stopped watching when they were down 20. Second game in a row. They do the unthinkable. Appreciate you rocking with us, man. But yeah, you can never stop watching. Never stop watching these Knicks. You just got to stay in it. And what are they going to make up now? Is this more about the Celtics or is this more about the Knicks doing it 2 times in a row? I think that's going to be a big conversation. What's up, Jerry? The Celtics know how the Knicks are battle tested. Give the Knicks respect. This is a series now. Simon says Mikal is making us miss the 5th graders. Right now we are seeing this team raise their level. We could talk about it defensively, guys. We don't get back into this game if you don't buckle down. Defensively. We hold the Boston Celtics to 25% from 3 for the second consecutive game, man. Not many teams in the NBA can do that. Not many teams in the NBA have been able to do that, if any, right now. We held the Boston Celtics to 36% from downtown, from the field. That's unbelievable, man. Absolute stone cold straitjacket defense from the New York Knicks, and Boston just didn't know what to do, man. They weren't getting the calls. I like the no whistles. Jaylen Brown was kind of, trying to hold his jump to try to get a foul. No bueno. I thought Brunson should have had the 3 free throws from the closeout from Derek White. And the New York Knicks gave up a lot of rebounds in this one. The second chance points almost killed us. But the New York Knicks just stuck with it. I got to watch this game again, man. It's a blur. I think the stop-start, the Hakamichi, kind of screwed Boston again. What do you guys think, man? Freeway says bacon, egg, and cheese for the whole city. Let's fucking go. Salute. Let's go, Knicks. Man, we in late night edition, diehard edition tonight. Johnny says offensive rebounds, especially Mitchie Rob, crushed the Celtics spirit. Yep, we're going to give out the first grade of the night right now, man. We're riding high, 2-0 lead, right? And shout out to the believers once again. What can I say? OG Anunoby only had 5 points, and we won the game. And Hart, I tweeted like halfway through the game that Hart was killing us, and he comes back and does the unthinkable. He just has a phenomenal second half. 9 of 15, 3 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 23 points, man. Was still a -7. But Mitchell Robinson, man, -19. Right? A picture paints 1,000 words. Miles McBride was a hero tonight as well, +9. But it's hard to believe the Knicks win as 4 of all 5 of their starters are in the minus. But Mitchell Robinson is there as a +19. Karl Anthony Towns kept us in it early too. I like his aggression. But what about this jam from OG Anunoby, man? They got to change the rule. They got to change the rule. This has to be a dunk, man. Give him an and one. Right. If a player takes off from that far out, eliminate the charge. Eliminate the offensive foul in this situation, man. But man, unbelievable momentum shift. And I think the Knicks would have gone on and won this game earlier if this had counted. But no, they ruled in favor of Boston, and the Knicks just stuck with it, man. Yeah, shout out to the squad, man. I'm so proud. They didn't complain. They didn't, like argue with each other. They just kept their heads down and they stuck with it, man. So many times they could have let go of the rope. Look at some of these foul calls that weren't given, early in the game, man. It was rugby. It was NFL. Tackle football out there. Gang Star says we're going to sweep these choke ticks. I like that. We're them boys. Let's go Knicks, yours truly. Buzzer Beater says Boston can go to hell and take their clam chowder with them. Let's go Knicks, 19 con man. Prezi the boss says they took away the first 3. I was like, yeah, are they really trying to help Boston with this one? Yeah. I did think OG just didn't get that off, in time. But, I thought they were going to allow that 3 as well was taken away. But the Knicks had a 9-point deficit at the half, and they didn't play a good half. And I thought, all right, I don't think there's a Knicks fan out there that could be too upset. Down 9, I felt like, it was all to play for. And the Knicks just third quarter, it was a crazy third quarter. As I look at my notes, they made a run. We made a late run in the third to sort of stay alive, and only down 12 at the half. The third quarter was a game of runs. That's where we could have either let go of the rope, and when it got to 18 or 16, we could have let go of the rope, but we just didn't, man, and we stuck with it. Let me bring up the wire to wire once again and check how far this run went, man. It definitely got out to 20. Yeah, it got out to 20 for the second consecutive game, and the New York Knicks just pulled it back late, man. I got to check the numbers. Boston went without a field goal for at least 5-6 minutes without a field goal. And I said it, guys, their depth ain't great, What a dime from Cat in that one, man. I thought that was a critical bucket as well. But I think Joe Mazzulla is obviously going to have to make a key adjustment right now. They're reeling, down 2-0. The Mecca is going to be absolutely on fire. Chris Stapps dealing with the upper respiratory issue. He wasn't much of a factor tonight, but he did give them more than the first game. Al Horford missed some key open shots. Jaylen Brown missed key open shots. And finally, when Boston had no choice but to drive the basketball, the New York Knicks were there. The New York Knicks were there to get stops, right? Take the physicality and contest. Contest strongly. 2, this was a big play early as well. OG on the leak out. He's been giving them headaches, man. He's been giving them nightmares as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to lap it up. Obviously, in listening to these haters swallow their words, and Colin Cowherd has to be the first one, man. He said the first game was one of the weakest first game victories, basically, and it wasn't going to happen again. Celtics in 5. Well, that was a curse, big time. 19, we outside, most definitely. rye bread. Says if you watch the fourth quarter prior to getting the lead and you didn't see the scoreboard, Celtics looked like they were down nearly 20. Yeah, definitely. I think weak mentality. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Knicks' strong mentality won this game for the second consecutive game. But there's no doubt now that everyone knows that the Celtics have a weaker mentality. I said it. When you win a championship, it's difficult, man. It's difficult to repeat. It really is. And the hunger, the team with more grit can prevail in these tight games, you know? How about Cat down low early? He was a bully. We finally got a couple of and ones, and he was letting Al Horford know, man. Your time's almost up, Unk. The old man Horford definitely looked a bit older tonight, man. With Cat, he was driving, getting the buckets early. Cat finished with 21, 17 rebounds, man. What a demon. Karl Anthony Towns, 17 rebounds. Equal team high, 3 offensive as well. Hit all 3 of his free throws. And for the second consecutive game, Karl Anthony Towns did not hit a single 3. For the second consecutive game, the Knicks win in Boston without Cat hitting a 3. We have literally changed the blueprint. Tom Thibodeau, Leon Rose, and this Knicks squad has literally rewritten the game plan, the scouting report on this team, man. But who would have thought? Josh Hart with 6 attempts from downtown, hitting 3 of them. So roles were reversed with Cat and basically with KP and Cat getting the and one. He got a big putback. Slow start, New York Knicks, right? We can't start slow in New York. Prezi says 48 minutes. I like that. Yep, we're missing shots and free throws, but we stayed in it. And Rye says, you know what else has helped this team a lot? PJ Tucker adding another coach. Yeah, I've been thinking that low key. Great shout. Great shout. I think we've definitely upped our grittiness, our intensity, right? But what a final play from Mikal Bridges. That's game blouses once again for the New York Knicks. Look, I'm so proud of our squad on that one. Tatum had to drive. Michi containing him out on the perimeter. And our guys absolutely loving it, man. Scenes. I can't imagine what it's like outside MSG right now. I'm great to be rocking with you right now as the New York Knicks showed out. We brought our lunch pail, and definitely, man, the dogs came to play. Prezi says, salute to Casey Smith for keeping our guys healthy. Yeah, that's a big storyline going around the league. You got Cleveland, man, on life support, dealing without Garland, DeAndre Hunter, and Evan Mobley. Our guys are healthy right now. Our guys are healthy. Can we get a salute? Can we get an amen? Can we get a thumbs up? Smash the like on the stream, man. Let them know we here. Let them know we're sick of the doubt. We're sick of the shade, man. Put respect. This win was all about us, man. This win was about respect. Ain't no one clowning the Knicks evermore right now. Ain't no one clowning the Knicks, and they're definitely going to be clowning the Boston Celtics, man. Shout out Cardiac. Shout out Low Key. What we just witnessed was something special, man. And just never say die New York attitude and grit. Absolute cardiac affair, man. 2 of the greatest playoff games you could watch as a New York Knicks fan, man. It don't get no sweeter than that, man. We did it against all odds, against the officials, and all of that. And we stuck with it. We stuck with it, man. We're a tough team to put away. Man, I was going back and forth with some Boston fans as well, talking about Jalen Brunson doing his thing, all of that. But, hey, actions speak louder than words, ladies and gentlemen. Actions speak louder than words, and I'm in shock still right now, man. Don't go nowhere. We're going to get all the reactions from the locker room, from who's who. And right now, man, people are absolutely living it up. Can't wait to hear what these inside the NBA crew is talking about the New York Knicks. But There's going to be a lot of talk about, did the Celtics throw one away? Or did the New York Knicks take this one? Let's hear from Thibodeau right now, and then we're going to give out these grades. So, Thibodeau says, people always talk about offensive runs. I think you go on defensive runs as well. You also go on rebounding runs, as Tibbs talked about the New York Knicks clutch defense and the Knicks going on a defensive run tonight, man. I think 19 Con Man sums it up, man. New York gritty committee. I think we believe, we believe in ourselves. We believe in this squad, man, from top to bottom, man. Shirley's in the house. I said to everyone this time, changing. Yep, things are changing for real. GK says history. Hulk smashed those likes. How sweet it is to get a stop for the second consecutive time, man. I don't know about you guys, but I respect that a lot more because, Boston have got some shot makers, man. And twice we shut them out, man. We shut them out. I was a little ticked off over the go-ahead basket, I thought OG sort of came up a little bit too high and gave Tatum that running start. But nevertheless, the New York Knicks had enough to get that final stop. Look at Mitch. Look at his activity, man, with his arms up too. Without further ado, man, the first game ball of the evening is going to go to Mikal Bridges, man. A historic game from Bridges, from the front office, top to bottom, man. What a polar opposite it is to start the season to where we are right now, man. If you had a time machine and you could basically fly forward to where we are right now today, man, and tell every Knicks fan that Bridges was one of the most clutch players in the biggest game of the season to give the Knicks a 2-0 lead against Boston with another stop, with critical buckets, and just a dynamite second half, absolutely absent in the first half, but absolutely heroic in the second half, man, with his buckets and his numbers tonight. Mikal Bridges was 6 of 18, right? 2 of 8 from downtown, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, -6, 14 points. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care what those numbers say because Mikal Bridges won us this game. We don't win this game without Bridges and without the point guards getting him active. You got to agree with this quote as well from 19, man. Hacker Mitch has backfired so much. It's definitely killed the flow, allowed our defense to get set, and get back. David, man, I'm stunned. All heart, no quit. Phenomenal win. JI says the pace is up 2-0 as well. If they win, I like our chances against them if we get there. We just got to take game at a time, man. But we're healthy right now. Thank the good Lord, and let's keep going. Let's keep going, man. Bring the energy. I really feel like Game 3 is the series, Now, let's keep it real. A 2-0 deficit is not insurmountable. Regardless if it's home or on the road, a 2-0 lead is not insurmountable. But if you go down 3-0, that's a wrap. And so the Knicks didn't play their best. In fact, I think we played better in the first game, to be honest. But the Celtics, we played better defense tonight, and that forced the Celtics to just basically forget how to play, and they weren't getting the calls, to bail them out. I think Tatum just didn't know where to go. I think he did lose his handle just a little bit in that one. But man, absolute stunner as the Knicks go up 2-0. JI says, I love Bridges. I don't understand all the hate he got all season. I like that trade. Yeah, I mean, it was a chess move, The premise of the trade was like, okay, we're gathering wings to take down Boston. And where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking down Boston. I tried to tell people, okay, regular season is something, but it's not everything, and you got to judge in the end. You got to judge how the the story ends, how the movie ends. Right now, the movie hasn't finished yet. You know, how those superhero movie goes. The villain beats up on you a little bit. The doubt. People start to question what's going to happen, and then the superhero comes to play, and basically ends it. And right now, these guys are superheroes, man. They're stepping up on the road. I think even the most optimistic Knicks fan would have said, "Oh man, split? Yeah, man, I'll take that." But man, if I had told anybody 2-0, no, we taken both games in Boston. Right, we taken both games in Boston, man. You hear that crowd umming and ahhing when Deuce McBride hit that big three, when Brunson started to get that step back in his rhythm, when they started to miss three after three after three. I mean, they're still bricking. They're still bricking threes right now, man. They're laying more bricks so we can build another New York City. We can build another Manhattan with all the bricks that they're throwing up right now. And Mikal Bridges, man, game ball, best game as a New York Knick, in my opinion, because of what's at stake, right? Yes, he's had a 40-point game. Yes, he's done 30-piece. But, I mean, this is the biggest stage, man. And Mikal Bridges stepped up. I thought he got fouled a few times. They did allow aggressive defense from both sides. I think they swallowed the whistle late. So I do appreciate that. I mean, they should have called a few fouls, definitely on the Brunson three-pointer. But swarming, suffocating D, man. I can feel the electricity in the house right now. We're buzzing. Can you imagine if this was an MSG, Mike Breen, Walt Clyde game? I mean, that's the only loss, man. I think the only loss in these two games is that we didn't get Mike Breen, and we got the Mike Breen earlier situation in Detroit, but we didn't get Breen and Clyde for these last two. But man, we got something special brewing, man. Something special. The belief. Paula says, "I wonder what these commentators are saying now." Yeah, they're starting to believe. They have to, man. I noticed a few doubters start to turn. Nick Wright, Fox Sports, giving the Knicks a bit more credit. He was one that said game one was more about the Knicks rather than the Celtics as well. I rarely agree with Nick Wright. He can have some clown takes, but he was given the Knicks respect. But a lot of these guys, Colin Cowherd, Bill Simmons, Ryan Russillo, even Legler wasn't overly praising the Knicks after game one. Brian Windhorse was giving some clown takes as well. But I mean, I'll say it again. The Knicks were a 51 team, right? They were the third seed for a reason. They had an almost identical home record as the Boston Celtics, and they were without their captain for 15 games. We were without Jalen Brunson for 15 games, ladies and gentlemen, and still finished with 51 wins as well. So you never doubt the captain, man. He was given Drew Holiday the business in that one, man. And we're going to talk about the captain next, right? Because you got to close it out, and he helped us close it out. 2 ice cold free throws, the step back midi on Drew Holiday, man. Drew the foul on Drew Holiday as well, man. The most clutch player we've witnessed, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Brunson is writing history. He's absolutely writing NBA history right now. He's putting the best defenders in the blender right now. Nobody can stop him, man. I don't know why they're not bringing the double late down the stretch. He's just absolutely killing dudes. Credit to Hart, setting good screens, switching him out onto Al Horford. And yeah, definitely struggling to contain JB. And ice in his veins to close it out. JB's numbers, man, started really slow. Finished 6 of 19, 2 of 9 from downtown, 3 of 4 from the stripe. Gave us 3 rebounds, 7 assists, a block, 2 turnovers and 17 points, but 2 critical free throws, finished with a -1 from Jalen Brunson. So obviously it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But let's keep it a buck. Our guys could have played so much better, right? Our guys could have played so much better. And with that said, I mean, Brunson helped ice the game, so he's going to get an A+. And shout out to the cat right now. They're having nightmares all over Boston about this guy. Imagine watching a bad movie if you're a Boston fan, game 1, and then imagine being forced to sit there, pay money, and watch the same movie again with the same finish, right? Where the rival finishes on top, right? And now we can talk trash. Now we can talk our smack. Puff your chest out. Knicks Nation. We buzzing. GK says the missed threes definitely help a little. Yeah, I've got to look at how contested they were. And I think a lot of the shots were more difficult tonight than game 1. And the Knicks just, made it really difficult. They sold out, There's something to be said about the regular season. And one of the reasons we were frustrated was that the Knicks just didn't sell out defensively every game, Not the way they're selling out right now. They're selling out on every possession. The rotations have been great. A little late on a few of them. But I mean, they're exhausted right now. And Boston are exhausted too. I do think the minutes are starting to catch up with Boston. How ironic is that? Our guys look really conditioned. They look battle-hardened. And the other team looks like they're out on their feet, especially late in these games. David says, shout out to Brunson for not only being clutch, but I noticed he has stepped up his defense as well. Yep. Taking charges. Major stones in this one, man. He was putting his body on the line, on the post-ups, fighting, man. Every single possession. Yep. Absolutely, yep. As Ken Tot says, triple team of Tatum and Mitch OG McCall on that last shot. That was big time help defense. Yeah, by the textbook. That really was textbook defense, right? And the bench, man, they're loving it. What experience from these young rooks with Dardier, Huck Porty, Tyler Kolek, front and center on the bench. Tibbs has narrowed the rotation down. Who knows how long this can last, but right now we only had 2 guys play 40 minutes, right, in a do or die game. So you take that, man. OG played 38. He did give Brunson really good rest. He kept Brunson fresh. I remember thinking at 8 minutes, like, is he going to bring Brunson back? And then it got down to 7 minutes. He still hadn't brought Brunson back. And then I think it got down to like 5 or 6 minutes, a perfect foul, break and play. And he got Brunson back into the game, and it was under double digits. And then I thought, here we go. Here we go. And he helped close it out with the help of our guys, man. Next up, we're going to talk about the Lionheart, because he was just absolutely phenomenal. Again, second road game in a row. Josh Hart was just absolutely phenomenal. Selling out. But yeah, our guys just don't ever hang their heads. Let's speak about the deficits, because it's one thing to talk about being down, right? We can't ignore that. We started slow. Boston came out with that requisite energy and effort. And I knew as long as we sustain the first punch, just like Rocky, man, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, just stay in it, man. Stay on your feet. Take the best shot from the opponent, man, from the challenger. And we kept going, man. I must admit, down 20 again, I thought, it just isn't our night. We've seen it before. The referees were bugging. And, a couple of the Celtics players, they hit some cheese, a tip back out, missed rebound. They got the putback. And I thought, man, what's it going to take to break the Knicks' spirit? The Knicks' will and spirit just never broke. Even some fans probably just thought, it's maybe not our night, but we just stuck with it. We played defense, hit some threes, and here we go, man. Deuce hit a big 3. Mikal started get going, man, in transition. They were scrambling, and they just couldn't find the trailer and Bridges, just big time buckets, and none bigger than this one with Mikal, Brunson, man, running downhill. I said it all season. We're the most dangerous when we're getting stops. You get stops and you can get out and run. And literally, it don't matter who you are. Don't matter if you're Boston, Oklahoma. I mean, they're human. You ask their five guys to have to pick up the trailing 3-point shooters, and Bridges, man, hit one just above the break. How ironic is that one? Big Dave says Tibbs has been on point so far this series. He's absolutely dominating in this one, man. Got to give him shout outs. And yeah, we won't be talking about Tibbs getting let go right now because, I mean, even his biggest critics, you got to say, okay, he's showing us something. He's showing us that we can win. We can win against the best. But we got to learn to start playing in front now. I think we've stolen 2 games. We've deserved to win, and Boston have crumbled. But now it's time to really go to MSG and bring that defense chant, but definitely punch first. I think, right? They're the walking wounded right now, and we can land the knockout blow. Man, the champions are on the ropes. They're reeling, and the Knicks can deliver. Man, the KO when we head back to New York. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you. Appreciate you rocking with us right now. The Knicks win a classic 90s affair, 91-90, man. Really inconsistent officiated game, a game of runs, and just one of those games where we've witnessed 2 games in a row that we may never see again. That's why you just have to, you have to appreciate what we've done, but also throw it out, reset, and start again. I thought Tibbs did a really good job of letting these guys know. I think all yesterday he was like, let's reset. Let's forget about game 1. This is a brand new game. And man, it didn't start well, but we stayed in it. And yeah, Porzingis was really, he was a liability, I felt tonight. That was a big trailing 3 from Deuce McBride. And the Knicks were just getting the right stops at the right time. Hart, 9 of 15, rebounding like a demon, passing the ball, running the break, getting downhill, getting Cat in his spots early. I thought Josh Hart was absolutely sensational tonight, man. He's going to get his grade coming up right now. Let us know what you think about Josh Hart and his performance, but he'll get an A+ for me, the way he finished it out. Hit big time threes, 3 of 6. Was a big part of the run offensively. Hit both free throws as well. 23 points, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 6 rebounds, 3 offensive from the Lion Hart. And he's one of those guys that just keeps us in games. He'll get you a few cheap buckets when the defense is going to sleep, and he keeps the train rolling, man. He keeps the momentum going. 42 minutes tonight. I mean, Hart's played 2 of his best games in his whole career, and he helped break the spirit and the will. Defensively, like I said, selling out on all the possessions, rotating well, scrambling, crashing the glass, keeping us in every single 50-50. Just unbelievable from J Hart in this one, man. 3 of 6 from downtown. You take that. I think Knicks know that he's the barometer. Knicks fans know. Like I said, if I told you guys before the game that Hart goes 3 of 6 from downtown, you'd be like, all right, we here. 3 of 6 from downtown from Josh Hart. We're in this game right now, and we here. GK says the Garden is going to be crazy. Yep. I can't imagine, man. It's going to be special. That's all I could say, man. As a fan, growing up, watching the Knicks at MSG, that's what made me fall in love with this team. Early 90s, John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Heroes, LJ, Spree. I mean, we're making new history right now. Young Knicks fans, you know, new to the game. They've got a new generation of heroes, man. And at MSG, man, on Saturday, it's going to be crazy. And you know what the most special thing is right now? We got 2 days rest. 2 days rest to build up this hype, build up what is going to be the hottest ticket in town, man. You won't even get into the building for less than a K, I don't think. Last I heard, I think it was a K to get into the building, even up in the bleachers, man. But right now, we got to shut these leprechauns out of MSG, man. It's going to be a orange and blue affair. AP feeling shocked. AJ says we're up 2-0. Pinch me, I'm dreaming right now. Let's dream. Let's dream, man. You see what these other teams are doing, man. Respect to Indiana. Respect to the Nuggets as well. And of course, the Knicks are leading the way, man. Yes, and I wanted to say this too, guys. I wanted to make this point after game one. With the rest of the NBA world looking on right now, it's going to be an absolute zoo right now with headlines, narratives, talking about Boston's collapse. What about these gritty Knicks? But what about the free agents to be watching on now? What about these guys like, even just the NBA neutrals watching like, man, the Knicks are doing work right now. The Knicks have got the champs on the ropes. Brunson, that's a stone cold killer, man. I would love to play with him. What do you think about the Kevin Durant's? The Giannis's are looking on. Devin Booker's. What about these even smaller free agents looking on, saying, man, if I join the Knicks, they're doing this. We can do something special, man. We can make noise. We can run the East. So I think people are going to be looking at the Knicks with a whole new lens right now. Whatever happens from the rest of the postseason, whatever happens, yeah, I think the Knicks have earned respect, even from the biggest haters right now. Big Dave says, I really think Boston has felt the pressure. I mean, no one gave the Knicks any chance in this series. We need to finish them while they are spinning. Yeah, great point, fam. And I really feel like the odds. Let's start with the betting odds. The Vegas, the Knicks were minus 1,000. Or the Celtics were minus 1,000. Knicks plus 1,000. Right, crazy disrespect. And I know a lot of people that capitalize. So good for them, man. I'm not a big betting man, but I wish I did put something on. But yeah, shout out to anyone that put some money down. You deserve it, man. Shout out to you because, yeah, it was disrespect. And anytime I feel like the odds are that lopsided, you got to capitalize, man. There ain't no way Boston should have been plus 1,000. That's where I think the regular season was duping some people, I think some people got duped. Plain and simple, man. People got duped by the regular season 4-0. Let's not forget Mitchell Robinson didn't play in the first 3 blowouts, man. Mitchell Robinson played in the final regular season game, and the Knicks almost won that game. So I think, yeah, a lot of people got the okie doke during the regular season right now. This ain't the same Boston team, right? They're banged up. They're stressing. They're under pressure, man. And best believe, once they get to MSG, they're going to feel even more pressure, man. It's a must-win game for Boston. Their season is on the line right now. We're talking about Jason Tatum, man. We're talking about the former, one of the finals MVPs. We're talking about a reigning champion. We're talking about an MVP candidate is on the ropes with a do-or-die must-win game in round 2. Otherwise, he's about to have an early off-season, man. Him and Drew Hanlon, that Knicks hater, Drew Hanlon, man, he can go shove it right now because he's been clowning the Knicks all season. He's been waiting to hate on the Knicks, and he was hating on the Knicks when Boston was beating us in the regular season. What's he going to say now? What are these haters going to say right now, man? No one gave the Knicks their respect. That's all we asked for, man. Even if you're going to predict the Celtics, I get it. But some of the disrespect coming the Knicks' way, like Cat and Brunson ain't all-stars. Like OG Anunoby should be first team All-D. No questions asked, man. He should be first team All-D. He got disrespected. Leon Rose got disrespect as well in the executive count right now. But you know what? F the haters, man. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's shut these guys out. What an embarrassment it would be to gentlemen sweep, right? Obviously, sweep is on the table, and I'm okay if you want to dream about that. Let's get it. But gentlemen sweep even is going to be embarrassing for this squad, right? Whether we win game 3 or 4, obviously we want to win game 3, but we're looking at a gentleman sweep. You know, we're looking at a gentleman sweep right now with this thing, bare minimum, in my opinion. Let's keep it rolling. Yep. Yeah, no one cares when the Knicks are banged up. Yeah, great point, AP. Absolutely great point, man. Don't forget the Knicks were banged up against Indiana last season, and we lose Game 7. No one wants to talk about the fact that no Randall, no Hart in the game, Brunson, no OG with the hamstring, no Bogdanovich, you know, no Mitch. No one wants to talk about that. Now that the Cleveland Cavaliers are banged up, let's spare a thought for Cleveland out here, man. Well, that's why you don't need to go all hell for leather in the regular season, man. It's these guys' fault, man. You only need to win 50 to 55 games, man. I've been preaching that. Just get a second, third seed. If you're that good, you can beat anyone. You don't need the number 1 seed, really. Let's call a spade a spade. What does the number 1 seed do for you? Right. What's the point? What's the point in going for 65 wins? It don't do nothing. You know, you end up just getting banged up. When the playoffs start, it's 0-0 right there. And the underdog starts to smell blood. You're in trouble, man. You know? We've been favorites before when the underdog came up. You know, Indiana was hungry last season. We get it. This time, we're the underdog, man. Look what it's doing, man. We're absolutely buzzing, on fire, giving out 3 grades. Let's talk about OG Anunoby in this one, man. Talk about all team D. He's raised our ceiling. I think, you know, this ain't time for mass reflection, but if we're sitting here right now on top of our perch, the OG Anunoby trade, man, it changed the ceiling of this franchise, right? I loved RJ Barrett. I love Quickly. You know, I love Randall and Dante and the things they done, but you know, the trade was made in mind for us to get to the next level. And here we are now. We've leveled up. There's no doubting it. There's no ducking it. Right now, OG Anunoby showed out on the big stage, man. Absolutely murdering people at the rack. Ferocity, like, you know, Latrell Sprewell attacking the rim with force, running out on the break. Today, he didn't have much luck with the threes. The first game he did. But look, his defense is his calling card. And that's OG Anunoby, man, playing the best ball of his career. 5 points tonight, but who cares? 5 stocks, 4 steals, a block, an assist, 5 rebounds, 1 offensive, hit 1 3, 2 of 9 as well, and we still won the game because he plays both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, he plays both sides, right? And that was one of the issues we had with some of those former Knicks, right? If they had a poor shooting stat line, you could best believe that we'd probably lose the game. But when you have an OG Anunoby that can defend the way he's defending and bring everybody together like glue on the defensive end, and also hit some shots and be a threat that they can't ignore and attack the rim, I mean, we're watching a special player right now, and you know he's been money in all of the playoff games. Really, he got paid a big bag. He deserves it. You know, well and truly. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance once again from OG Anunoby, and I'm going to dial up his grade right now. Right, I mean, defensively, he was just sensational. I got to give OG an A+ as well, right? Helping the Knicks go out on that run. Mike, salute. Yep. G cases, if Bridges gets hot, watch out. Yeah, he was hot late. Mello in the house says, great win. However, I wish Tibbs can play more than 3 guys from the bench. You can't win running an 8-man long term, I assume you're meaning. Just because we won, yet can't forget how we ridiculed Tibbs for not playing his bench. Yeah, look, it's a different situation. Ideally, playing a 9th guy would be good, but you can't ignore the fact that most coaches are doing the same. You know, it's win or go home. You know, it's tough, man. Your season's on the line. Every single game can change a series. Maybe he just doesn't have that extra guy that he trusts. I think, you know, ideally a guy like Shamet, you know, who can get in for a couple of minutes, get up some shots, but campaign's not really giving us much either. And look, I guess that's a positive for the off season. You know, we make another move, and we're even better. You know, now we also look at this 2 days rest. You know, you look at the next game, we've got 2 days rest, and only 2 guys played 40 minutes tonight as well. No back-to-backs as well. But yeah, man, we battled the officials tonight, so proud. Karl Anthony Towns, can you say that he's had really a dominant Karl Anthony Towns game? No, not even Brunson has really been dominant for the whole game. It's just been our grit, our defense getting it done, you know, holding, you know, a high-powered offensive team to basically nothing. You know, if we look at the stats once again, salute everyone in the building, smash that like button. We're bringing you the stats and the facts, everything you need to know about this 2-0 series lead by the New York Knicks. Boston had success with second chance points, and Thibodeau was preaching, grab those rebounds. You know, we need to limit that. And we were able to grab some rebounds, but we still got out rebounded. However, we kept the Boston Celtics to 25% from downtown, which is remarkable. For the second consecutive game, Boston fell in love with the 3, and they just had no plan B. They fell in love with the 3 with no plan B. And that's the Boston Celtics, man, in a nutshell, man. Heads are crashing, heads are rolling in Beantown right now. It would be amazing to be in their building. SF says, I definitely feel like Precious should get some minutes. Yeah, I feel like Precious is a guy that could be getting minutes. Ideally, he'd be in rhythm, and we should have been playing him a bit earlier. But I feel like, yeah, it's harder to throw him out there. But, you know, Mitchie's doing a solid job. But yeah, we've been far from great offensively. You know, we do need to be better. Eventually, Boston's going to hit more shots. You know, eventually the Boston Celtics will hit more shots. And yeah, like Buzzer says, ask CT, did the Celtics choke? Hell yeah, it was a choke job. It was because after game 1, they thought, man, this ain't happening again. And then it starts to creep in, the doubt. You know, you start to stiffen up, you get tight, and it's like, man, the Knicks just have warriors. You know, been there, done that. Also, a lot of y'all made the point. We got guys that have been there. You know, Mikal, NBA finalist. Kat, NBA Western Conference finalist. JB, Western Conference finalist. You know, OG, NBA finalist. Cameron Payne, NBA finalist. We've got guys that have been, you know, on the bigger stage, and they don't look shook. You know, they ain't bickering and moaning with each other on a missed assignment. They keep it together, man. They keep it cool. I think they knew tonight they were playing with house money. You know, even when we got down 20, yeah, I didn't really see dudes frustrated. You know, they're just like, all right, man, let's just try to keep around. Maybe we make a run, and then maybe we put the Q in the rack. But the Celtics just kind of started missing. We started to get rebounds, get a few buckets, you know, kept it 9, 12, then it was back to 8, back to 10. Then it got out to 7. Then it's like, whoa, wait a minute, it's 5. Then it's 3. Then Brunson gives them the lead with the layup. The banker as well was big time from Hart. The floater. I mean, Hart was just sensational. 23 points, efficient from downtown as well. Where would we be without Josh Hart? Yeah, we're winning the matchups too. If we look at what Boston's given these guys, man, they're not giving them much, man. Cornet, Horford. Horford looks old right now. Cornet, struggling. Hauser is down. Maybe they dust him off for game 3. But yeah, the series is far from done. We've definitely got a big head start now, a rolling start. We need to go into game 3 like it's series on the line. I think if we have that mentality, I think we can really break them, man. If they're not already broken, we can definitely break them, man. I mean, think about what this is doing for Tatum Brown's legacy, and all the heat. They got 2 days that they're going to be copping heat from the Boston media, Joe Mazzulla as well, Brad Stevens, all of that. They got some injury concerns as well, but who the hell cares? We've had injuries for 2 seasons now. Right now, and shout out to Casey Smith, the New York Knicks doctor, which has kept these guys healthy too. Larson says Josh was terrific. Absolutely. Chris Gotti, great point. Let's not forget the Celtics play good on the road. We haven't been the best at home. Knicks have to take care of home court. Yep, absolutely. What I feel like is going to be a bit different though, which is going to help the Knicks, is that confidence momentum is crazy in sports. You got the whole city behind you, and I'm talking about the whole city. The tri-state area is going to be absolutely behind the New York Knicks. Boston Knicks rivalry, 2-0 lead, headed back to MSG. Man, we never had it this good going up against MJ back in the day, going up against Reggie, going up against, the Pistons as well, Boston. I mean, it's all there. The Knicks have to capitalize and win this series right now. And we have a chance to get to the NBA Finals, man, and shock the world, just like we did in 99, man, 25 years ago. But yeah, I like the grit. I like the grit of our guys. They ain't playing their A games in terms of skill, execution, but they're bringing their A games in terms of effort, commitment, focus, grit as well. And look, will versus will, skill versus skill. We're on top, man. We deserve our props. They had more second chance points, but they still couldn't break us. At the end of the day, we're beating them at their game, fam. 29% from downtown versus 25% from downtown. I mean, it's embarrassing from Boston, man, shooting 25% 2 games in a row, right? Ain't no one in Boston want to see them shoot another 3. We single-handedly eliminated their game plan right now, and they fall flat on their ass right now. Nobody wants to see them shoot another 3. So what do they have to do? They have to bring it, into the paint. That's playing to our game plan right now. That's playing to our game plan. Yeah, I got to give Cat credit. As we talk about Cat now, I think his skill has been, on full effect in this whole playoff run. You see the ups, the downs, the Karl Anthony Towns experience, but plays like this is just we ain't have many big men that could ever do this. Patrick Ewing, Willis Reed. I mean, how many big men are doing this? We ain't see this from Tyson Chandler. We ain't see this from Jericho Sims. Kept his cool, made that big behind the back pass. One of the most skilled, talented 7-footers, man, to ever play. If we can just get consistency from him. But you got to give him credit. Shout out to, staying out of foul trouble, but also, anchoring a defense, attempting to anchor a defense all season when we know that's not his strong suit. I do think it's harmed his offensive production a little bit, but he's learning to be more of a two-way guy. This is the evolution in Cat's career. Minnesota, they just said, look, we're not going to bother. We're just going to give up 5 picks to get Rudy Gobert, and we're going to make Cat a full-time power forward. But the New York Knicks are approaching it like, you know what? We traded for Cat. He's the most talented, skilled shooting big man. Let's keep him at the 5. Let's teach him. Let's teach him how to defend. Let's teach him how to get better on the defensive end. Yeah, there's going to be some growing pains. But at the same time, if you could flesh out that part of his game to go with the skill set offensively, then you've got a game changer. You've got a Nikola Jokic type, which is basically dominating the league. If you could be a skilled big man offensively, but be solid defensively, just solid, it's unplayable right now. Look at Luke Cornett, man. The dude, is a hustler, plays hard defensively, but can't give nothing offensively. So it's kind of like, as a coach, you want more guys that can play both sides. So with Karl Anthony Towns, I mean, I've already said it's a big success for year one, and it just keeps getting better, baby. The aftertaste, like we've just eaten dessert, and after you finish the dessert, the aftertaste tastes even better. As the season goes, the Knicks hit their free throws tonight, 8 of 10. We should have got more than 10 free throws. Let's say that. But 17 rebounds from Cat with 21 points, 4 turnovers, 4 fouls, an assist, 9 of 16 from the field. Absolutely a beast. He was a beast on both sides, and started hot early. The and ones kept us in it, kept us going, and definitely Cat was a guy that deserves his flowers, man. Deserves his props. So I'm going to give Cat a clean sweep of A pluses. Mike M in the house says Cat did his job tonight. Michael Drake, salute, says the Celtics are too cocky. I'm happy that they're going to be now turning their attention to their own team. That's the story now. Boston fans will be like, hey, wait a minute, the Knicks deserve respect now. But what about our guys? We crapped the bed, and definitely they deserve all the hate that they're getting. Right now they tried to think that this was going to be a cakewalk. And the fact that anyone predicted this series in 5 or a sweep or a 5 just is out of touch, in my opinion. That they've got to understand how playoff ball goes, man. It's all physical. It's a battle. It's back and forth. It's scouting versus scouting. Adjustment versus adjustment. And it's so difficult to beat a good team, a 51 team in 5 games, right? It's tough. Barring a crazy injury like Cleveland. Cleveland's probably going to lose their series in 5, but obviously crazy injuries have hit. But in terms of the New York Knicks, fully healthy, 51 wins to beat that team in 5, it ain't happening, man. You ain't beating this team 4 times out of 5. Especially with the ballers we got. 2 All-NBA players, All-NBA defender, an MVP candidate, 2-time All-Stars as well. People acting like we're a team of scrubs for a second. And I know that the coaching had some flaws. It's amazing what happens when that comes correct right now. So in terms of a clean sweep, I mean, you got to say how it is. Tom Thibodeau deserves his grade coming up right now. And he's absolutely killing it right now. To be up 2-0 and keeping this team in it. He called timeouts at the right time. I thought we got good looks. He rode Macau. The only criticism, I guess you could say, is playing more guys. Maybe giving these guys a bit more of a rest. But I mean, game 2 was on the line, and you have to try to steal the game, no matter what. You have to try to steal this ball game, and you did it, right? So huge props to the coach GK says the Knicks can make a strong statement. Come out game 3, come out strong. Yep, definitely. I think the crowd is going to be on our side. And definitely if Boston get down early, man, it's going to be crazy out here. No sleep tonight, Michael Drake. Yeah, we ain't sleeping tonight. Let's talk about the bench. And they brought it. I think in these first 2 games, I think Deuce was great. Deuce was great tonight. We're also going to get more reactions from the locker room, from the guys too. As I just check my updates as well, man. Online's just going crazy. Yep. Some Boston fans giving Knicks defense some credit. Yep. The Knicks were the only team that knew how to defend. Yep. What a crazy image that I'm about to bring up, man. Josh Hart's highlights coming up as well. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks from Jay Lionheart. The block party is going crazy outside MSG as well. Man, what a night. Let's savor this, ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens from here on out. But take a look at this. Take a look at this graphic. Whew, my God. My God, man. Wing stop. That's it. Mic drop. Wing stop, ladies and gentlemen. If there's an image, a graphic that encapsulates what wing stop was supposed to be, was all about, man. Get this on their marketing campaign out here. I mean, former reigning champ, absolutely locked up, passing up, shots, shook out here. Had space, didn't want to pull up for the 3, drove into traffic, and he ran himself into wing stop, serving all you can eat. In this one, man, absolutely beautiful. Like the chat says, yeah, best believe that. We're the block party out here, man. Absolute scenes. Mike M says also our bench isn't the deepest. Yeah, we got ways to go. Man, we here. I said it, man. Strap yourself in. The Brunson train is here. Steph Curry about to retire soon. He's on the way out. LeBron James on the way out. KD on the way out. These old men. Jalen Brunson, 28, coming into his prime. He's going to rule the league. Man, surround this guy with studs, man. And we're going to run the league with Jalen Brunson, man. He can't be stopped. And he's in his prime, man. We got him locked up for 5+ years of his prime right now. This is special right now. Let's capitalize on this. GK says, yeah, now that's a picture worth a mil. Best believe that. Johnny says, yes, CT wing stop in full effect. That was a great shot. We've had a lot of posters, man. Could you imagine if OG's poster counted, man? Could you imagine if that was at MSG? That the volume levels would have gone to another level, man. That would have been higher than the LJ 4-point play right there. Look at Hart, man, as a hub. He set the screen there. He rolled. He got an easy bucket. This one, yep, makes the right cut. They're just ignoring him, and he's making them pay. So shout out to the coach for that. We were worried about, okay, how's Hart going to be deployed? What's it going to look like? They're going to sag off. Right now, Tatum's in the paint. He's sagging off. Hart, no hesitation, pulls the trigger on that one. Nothing but net. Again, corner, Tatum sagging off, making them pay. Nothing but net. That was a 15-point deficit. At that point, Brunson coming off the pick, downhill, pass, Hart makes the drive, finishes with the floater as well. So great connection on all of these plays with Hart, but to knock down 3 threes, we just needed one game where Hart just shot great and we took the game. That should have been an and one, by the way, as well with that one. AJ says wing stop with 2 different sauce. Salute. Absolutely, man. The secret sauce on that one. What are you guys thinking now, honestly, about the series result? Do you think this thing is going to go 6? Do you think it's going to go 7? Do you think this is going to be over in 5? Are you thinking sweep? Are you thinking sweep? Because the Knicks haven't played two of their best games and they've won. But you've also got to acknowledge that the Celtics have also, choked. They've choked twice. No doubt the Celtics are very vulnerable. Can they play better? Yes, they can. But I think we're seeing a lot more of what this Boston Celtics team is. You know, this really is who they are, in my opinion. You know, and if the Knicks haven't played their best games and we're still winning, you've got to look at it like, okay, let's just play better and win the series. If you haven't played your best and you're up 2-0, that's crazy. Boston will be saying, yeah, we didn't play well for 2 games, but guess what? They're down 0-2. They have to start bringing their best game right now. Ken Tott says, maybe over 5, but a sweep will be sweeter. Could you imagine, man? Could you imagine? Look, a sweep, I'm not entertaining a sweep right now. Obviously, I still think the Celtics team has so much talent, but I'll take gentleman sweep. Man, I'll take gentleman sweep any day. You got to win game 3, though. Win game 3. They'll obviously have to face elimination. We'll see what happens. The Ra says all of the above. Stanley, Knicks need to ride the momentum and beat them in the next game at the MSG. If the Celtics go down 3-0, we will win. We have home court. Knicks haven't played well offensively. Brunson needs to play off the ball more. Yeah, great point, that last bit. Think about the confidence Bridges has got now. Yeah, let's roll with him early in the game. Get Cat going, get Bridges going early in game 3, and then Brunson will close it. Doug says we want both 2 more wins. Yep. G Money, salute. We handled our business tonight. Wing stop. Michael, CT wins games when you're not playing your best. Most def, man. And shout out to the Detroit Pistons for also helping us sharpen our iron, and build our resilience, build up our resolve, because we knew we're in for a dogfight, man. Who would have thought we'd go into Boston and steal one, let alone both? Right now, they're coming off a cushy series against Orlando. Them dudes were sleeping in silk sheets while we was training in the streets. We were definitely sharpening our iron, man. And against Detroit, people wanted to clown us. Like, get the nerve of people, casuals, trying to clown us for only beating Detroit in 6. Right? Give Detroit some credit, man. They're a gritty, physical team, man. They were playing tackle football. Meanwhile, Boston was, sleeping in silk sheets against Orlando. Coming in, rolling in, thinking they were just going to steamroll the New York Knicks with all this talent we got right now. But it's not to be. New York City's the place to be right now. And I'm just so happy that all these Boston, dudes, right? We obviously got the Dave Portnoy, Barstool. We got Rosillo. We got Bill Simmons. We got Colin Cowherd as well, looking like a damn fool as well. I'm going to put that dude on blast right now, not giving the Knicks any respect right now. And they're going to be turning their attention on the next one. What a double poster this is as well. Let me bring this up for y'all right here. You're getting the latest updates ASAP from the streets of buzzing. Mikal Bridges, courtesy of Sports Center, right there. 2 stops to close Boston out. How sweet it is, man, in the words of Clyde. Shout out Clyde, man. We're doing this for Willis. We're doing this for Dick Barnett. God rest their soul. Rest in peace. Clyde and the other former Knick legends. Patrick Ewing was in the building tonight. This has got to bring, a tingle down their spine for seeing these dudes. Yeah, so far so good for our gritty New York Knicks. But the job ain't done, man. We need to channel our inner Kobe and close these guys out, man. This has been a long time coming, man. Because look, they have owned us for a significant period of time, but we hear. Let's hear from Mikal Bridges now, the man of the hour. After these consecutive stops, Bridges says, it hurt me that I'm making my team lose in that moment. It really just shout out to the team for real. So Bridges praising his teammates for picking him up tonight. Yep. These guys stay together, man. Obviously that Villanova connection is worth something, man. It's worth its weight in gold. The chemistry with these guys, because they never hang their heads, They stay even keel. You never get too high, never get too low, when you're going through these battles. Yeah, Mike, DT is known for its defense, so he knew that series was going to be a hard-fought one. Yep, no doubt about it. Stanley says Porzingis virus is the reason for the Celtics losses. We're going to hear all sorts of excuses, fam, and all of that, but the job is not over yet. We can completely bury them right now. The champs against the ropes, we can bury them. Okay, so we've got some craziness right now. Looks like the TD Garden had to evacuate. I kid you not. I bring up this update. There was a fire, and I'm not talking about the New York Knicks being on fire, but Noah Dalzell, who covers the Celtics, says a security guard says there's actual fire at TD. So everyone, players, reporters, has left the building. More post-game coverage coming out. Let's hear from Mitchie now. Mitchie says we're just defending the city, just out there playing ball. Man, Mitchie's been loving it. He's been tweeting out, putting up on IG the images of a padlock. Great to see him out there on that final possession, scrambling in front of Jason Tatum, keeping him, away from the drive, making an impact, man, both ways. Just defending the city, says Mitchie. Yep, it ain't pretty, but it's definitely gritty. Doing it like a 90s style. Imagine if we repeat like we did in 1999 and we get Indiana in the conference finals. Let's go. Josh Hart tweets out, Mikal Bridges, period. Bill Simmons talking about his Celtics. Precious Achua says, oh my God, Mikal is elite. Scream emoji. Mark Berman says, how do you say choke in Leprechaun? Celtics miss 14 straight down the stretch, and Knicks are kings of Beantown again. Boston Bucknered this away. Bridges a monster in the fourth quarter. 2-0 down, back to Midtown. You're loving it, man. KP, hearing from his reaction now as well. Kristaps Porzingis says, going into game 3, it's, in a way, it kind of takes all the pressure off us. If you check the odds, maybe the Knicks are the favorites now to win. Can you believe that? Can you believe the words coming out of Kristaps Porzingis' mouth, man? What a fragile mentality, man. They were favorites, and now he's trying to put pressure on the Knicks when they're the ones that are down 2-0. No, man. It don't work that way. You can't just, ignore pressure when you're down now. The pressure's on you, my friend. You were supposed to sweep us. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Cancun calling out for KP. So once again tonight, the Celtics, after taking a 20-point lead with 3 to play in the third, they went 5 of 28, 17% from the field. They went 2 of 14, 14% from the field, and 6 turnovers. And Bill Simmons, all that Bill Simmons can say is it felt worse. It felt worse being in that building, man. What a collapse, man. I didn't think we'd see a bigger collapse after after the Cavaliers last night. But tonight just writ another chapter in all-time collapses, man. But defensively, the Knicks are just, on point right now, making it so gritty. Tendrell says KP is a bum right now. Look, health, the guy is skilled, but he just, could never stay healthy. And I think he's definitely going to be one of those guys traded. However, the way this series ends, Boston have already decisions to be made. But you have to think that Drew Holiday is definitely looking a lot older in this series. Al Horford, a tough decision will have to be made on him. And definitely Kristaps Porzingis, man. So that's why I said, Knicks Nation, stay locked in. Right. This Boston era is sort of coming to an end. It ain't starting, it's coming to an end. And the more you can just stay locked in with all of these guys under contract, we're not even in the second apron yet. The Celtics have the second highest tax payroll, second highest payroll in the league right now. We've already given OG's money as the salary cap continues to go up. That deal will look even better. Jalen Brunson already got his bag as well, took a discount. Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart under contract as well. And let's keep this thing rolling. Let's keep it rolling, man. Now let's talk about the bench. What did we get from the bench tonight? We got 6 points from Mitchie. We got 5 points from Miles McBride, but Mitchell Robinson was a plus 19 on efficiency. Miles McBride was efficient as well. Knocked down the three, right? Another night, we got 11 points off the bench. So we'll bring up the grades of these two guys right now. Heroes in Beantown. Right, with Mitchie, I'm going to go... I mean, he was so impactful, man. Mitchie gets the A. Mitchie gets the A for me. And I think for the second night in a row, I'm going to give Deuce the grade. He gets the B+. Right, so our bench giving us key contributions. Man, I know it's not a deep bench, but 7, 8, if we can get production from these guys, it's big time. And no doubt we have a chance to close this series out early, right? Maybe even get some rest, Nice salute. Let's get it. Great to see you, fam. Yeah, one of the reasons why the Knicks need to close this series out early now is because looks like Indiana might close their series out in 5. So we do have to keep an eye out on that, right? As I do a score check coming into the Nuggets Oklahoma series. Wow. Whew. Absolute beatdown. Oklahoma's up 87-56 at the half. My goodness, that is a good old-fashioned ass whooping from Oklahoma. Obviously, they came back with a force. They were angry. It was a must-win, and they delivered. Well, assuming... Excuse me. Yeah. GK says it. OKC, man, up 40. Whew. Man, unbelievable. Yep. It's only halftime as well. That's crazy. So let's look at the next update. Shout out to our bench, man. They brought it big time. Deuce McBride. We haven't really got much out of campaign either as well. Just going to pour myself another drink. Salute to the chat. Let's go, Knicks. 2-0 up in the series. Shocking the world, literally. Man. Making haters eat their words. Let's go. Let's go. Nice says, Mikal Bridges, 5 picks is finally paying off. Let's go. Yeah, playoff rising in the house. Mr. Iron Man, man, he's locking in. He's locking in. Mike M says, yeah, Nugs getting wrecked right now. Rice says, get this man a beverage. Salute. Stanley says, Knicks bench is really bad. We need Cam to step up. Along with Mitch and Deuce. I mean, really bad is a bit over the top. I would say it's a shallow bench, you know. Look at Boston's bench, you know, they ain't exactly given them much either, you know. When it comes to playoffs, guys, it's the starters, you know. You know, the starters are going to carry you home, man. The starters are going to carry you to a championship, you know, at the end of the day. But yeah, we do need more from the bench, but I do think that's more of an off-season thing, you know. Peter Vesey, friend of the show, Hall of Famer, says individually and collectively, the Knicks' discerning demonic defense has exposed the Celtics' assembly of pointless players. When stifled from doing best for themselves, they're awfully untrained at doing for others. Wow. What a paragraph written on that one, man. Scathing of the Boston Celtics. We got Jada Kiss in the house saying, how about them Knicks? Roommates Mike says Mitch deserves an unbelievable amount of credit in this one. Settling for threes. John Schmelk of the New York Giants says no deep analysis here. All that talk about this team missing something deep inside, that's over. This team is far from perfect, but they have whatever it is. It's in their soul, up 2-0 and haven't played close to a complete game. New York, go, New York, go. Let's go, John. We've got a great guest coming through as well. Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, after Game 3, we're going to have a guest join us, a returning guest, and we're going to be chopping it up on Sunday evening. Look forward to that. But obviously, it's a situation where we'll know after Game 3 which way the series is headed. If Boston can get on the board and make it a 2-1, then Game 4 will be absolutely electric. Game 4 will be must win. But right now, the Knicks have a chance to close it out early. AJ says Macau raised his value up to at least 10 picks last game. Now it's 20 picks. Right now, Brooklyn's asking for a refund. You know, all these people clowning Mikal Bridges and the picks. Right now, Brooklyn's the one asking for a refund right now. But of course, he's useless to them. They ain't going to be in the playoffs for a hot minute. You know? Unbelievable. I got some friends texting me now. Pacers Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep. I mean, people are definitely dreaming right now. Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans celebrate in front of a Celtics fan that shows up. Wow. Shows up in Times Square, fam. The New York Knicks absolutely ruling the East right now. You got Cleveland. Like, let's be honest. Do you guys have any sympathy for Cleveland? I don't. I don't have a word of sympathy for Cleveland right now. You know, they made their upgrades, they built a great roster, but you know, injuries can hit anyone, you know. Stephen A's going crazy, Skip Bayless is going crazy, Chris Mannix as well. Talks about the Porzingis illness is bizarre. Cost him 8 games in March with lingering effects in May and no one can explain it. Well, they need to get themselves Casey Smith, man, the best in the business. Skip Bayless says, man, I'm seeing so much clutch in these NBA playoffs, starting with JB, 2 huge late free throws, down 1 and tied to win it. You watching this, Bron? Throws in a little stray to Bron. Stephen A, man, I'm going to keep Stephen A on mute. We don't need to hear from Stephen A. Now he wants to hop on, man. He wants to hop on, hop. Now he wants to be back on, man. Just like Michael Rappaport as well. Let's get back to these highlights, man, and shouting out our guys. Let's talk about Game 3. What can we do better? What can we adjust? Look, role players play better at MSG. So, to you guys' point, the role players are going to play better at MSG. Deuce, Cam is going to get loose. Mitchie's full of confidence right now. And hopefully, we feature Bridges more. I think the man's earned it. So that's my key adjustment. Let's get Bridges rolling early in the first. Let's take the attention away from JB. I like getting active early because that's the mismatch that we can capitalize on, and get some easier points. That's something that I would like us to see, Nice as I always said, Pacers are a great matchup against Cleveland. Yeah, shout out to you. I agree. Paula says, I have no sympathy for any of the other teams. Yep, definitely. We shouldn't, we built this situation to be in, with this roster. We're healthy. Last year we weren't. Otherwise, who knows, guys? We could have knocked Boston out in the ECF last year, man. These cowardly, cocky Celtics fans saying, oh, yeah, you couldn't get past Indiana. All of that, man. Now they know, man. Now they know we're for real. They don't want to see this wing stop. Man, OG Anunoby, Demonoby, and Mikal lock down Bridges right now. The NBA's Iron Man. Shout out to the squad for the vision, the front office. GK says KP can choke for all I care. Hey, he left us. Remember, he wanted out. Him and his brother. He could have built something special in the Mecca, but he wanted it out, man. Yeah. Once these passengers jump off, man, they ain't getting back on right now. But yeah, Josh Lionheart, Mikal Bridges, so many heroes in this one late. I'm not going to lie, man. Jalen Brunson's gone to that another level. I know his play hasn't been as consistent, but literally every game, he's been closing out, except one of the games in Detroit. Obviously that knock on Game 5 in Detroit, in Madison Square Garden, we should have won that one, but he came back and he closed it out in Detroit. But right now, how are you feeling about home versus road? Because the Knicks are 5-0 again, on the road. Now, 3 on the road at Little Caesars, 2 in a row at TD Bank, and here we are, fam. 5 games in a row on the road as a playoff team. It's unbelievable right now. Unbelievable grit. Tibbs is right. We make defensive runs and rebound runs, not just offensive runs. Yep, you said it. I like that quote. I've always felt like our ceiling lies defensively. This year we've seen what our offense can be. I really felt like defense, is our calling card. Mitchell Robinson coming back and getting healthy was a game changer. I mean, not a lot of people respected Mitchell Robinson, All these games that we lost to these, Oklahoma, Cleveland, Lakers, all of that. None of them want to talk about Mitchell Robinson being out. He's a starting caliber center, and, the Knicks were doing well without him. He comes back and he takes our defense to another level because you don't have to rely on Cat, defensively for 40 minutes. Even if you get 20 minutes from Mitch, that's enough to really make the defense, second guess. AJ says it as well. Not going to lie, Pacers have been feasting on injured teams, yet they've caught crazy luck, especially the last two years. Nice says keep Stephen A away from game 3. Every time he's at the arena, we end up losing, man. Keep him out. Yeah. James Dolan, yeah, keep Stephen A, man, on the West Coast. I agree, man. Nice, you're feeling more confident at the road versus home. Yeah, I think Brunson sort of said on the pod that he likes going into the road arena and to shut down the crowd. You know, we have to bring that road mindset then to MSG. Who knows? I do think you can execute better on the road. I really do, because there's less pressure. You know, it's crazy how the tables have turned, because at home you should feel more confident with the crowd going crazy and all of that. But I get it. There is pressure. But right now, I kind of feel like pressure on both sides. Pressure is 50-50. Because we all know that the Celtics are capable. We all know that they're capable. If they get one game, they'll start to feel more confident. The Knicks literally have them on the ropes now. The pressure is there to land the knockout blow, So I think we can't play any worse than what we've played the last two. Now, how much better do we play versus how much better will Boston play? That's going to be the major story coming out of game 2, and if we can put them down early, put them in a casket early, with the crowd going crazy. We haven't really played from ahead, at all. It's been too gritty, come from behind victories and too, epic collapses. When it comes to Boston, I mean, I still can't get over this graphic right now. I mean, epic collapse, robbery. Robbery's more if the game's close, I feel like, and the Knicks just steal one. This is a collapse. This is a collapse from Boston, also aided by the New York Knicks' gritty defense. We only led by 3 points, and we only led once. Fam, ladies and gentlemen, we took the lead. Actually, no, we took the lead, then they got it back for one possession. It's so small, you can't even see. But one possession, and then the Knicks, finished ahead, man. We pipped them at the line. Um, 2 days rest. That is the next major factor, guys, heading in to game 3. Mitchell Robinson keeping his minutes at 22. Miles McBride is fresh. Brunson only played 37. That's not too bad. Cat played 34. OG played 38. You take it. If I told you that JB and OG Anunoby didn't play 40 minutes, that's a win with 2 days rest coming in now. Appreciate you, Ken Tot. Let's go, Knicks. Great to have you with us. We'll definitely be here game 3. Join us post game. Hopefully we're 1 foot into the final Eastern Conference Finals, right? We've got the champs on the ropes. David says, would have loved some sweet revenge on Indiana. Definitely. I'm not going to rule Cleveland out just yet, because you just don't know what the status is yet of Evan Mobley, Hunter, and Garland. However, I think Garland is most likely of the 3. Evan Mobley's got a, he's got a banged up ankle. He might be more ready for game 4. I don't know. But I do think DeAndre Hunter is in a real tough situation. We've got Pistons content creators. Pistons Jack says, didn't think I'd say this, but I'm rooting for the Knicks right now. Hard not to love the way guys like Hart and OG hustle and play hard. So there you have it, man. Respect on both sides. I think that's a cool, all is fair in war. We hated the Pistons when they were tackling us, but at the end of the day, they also helped us, toughen up. and we're getting respect. Obviously, if the team defeats you, you feel better if that team can continue to advance as well. We got Paul Pierce, man, speaking on FS1 right earlier today. Wow. Let's bring this up, man. I didn't see this. Paul Pierce said earlier today, FS1, that if the Celtics lose game 2 at home, I'm walking here tomorrow 15 miles in my robe, no shoes on, barefoot, put the house on this game. Oh, for the love of God. Great night, Paula. Great to have you with us. Bless up. Big up. Let's go, Knicks. GK says Pierce is an idiot. Yep. What about the Colin Cowherd take? That is crazy as well. I'm going to see if I can find that one. Zach Lowe says, you want some basic analysis? For something like that to happen, the team trailing has to play really well, and the team ahead has to disintegrate into a puddle of nothing. Label it what you want, collapse, comeback, whatever. It's a bit of all of it, and New York deserves both wins. Let's go, Zach. Let's go. I agree. Yeah, a bit of both, but we did force Boston into the collapse. Now let's hear from the Celtics head coach, Joe Mazzulla. Asked if he takes solace in the fact that the Celtics have been better on the road, Mazzulla says, I take solace in the fact that we have a challenge ahead of us and we can have a chance to go after it together. So, hey, this guy's up against it, man. This is the biggest challenge, I think, he's faced so far. Now let's hear from the big bodega, Karl Anthony Towns, the starting big man out of Kentucky. Post-game, Cat says, we got clutch player of the year and we got one of the most clutch defenders in the NBA. It's only right that for all the talk people have done about Mikal, it's when the lights are the brightest that he gets to show his worth. So nice coming out from Cat. These guys are banding together, getting it done, man, on both sides. Another great graphic courtesy of ESPN. Mikal Bridges locking down Jaylen Brown and Kristaps. Buzzer Beater says, who would have thunk it? I think we're definitely now in an alternate world. You know, we definitely we've advanced into the next stage, and what we need to do now is kill them off. You know, we have a 2-0 lead. Who would have thought? But we can't sit here thinking like, oh man, imagine if we did this or we did that. Nah, now's not that time, man. We need to close these guys out and create history. Create history and cause one of the biggest upsets, one of the biggest sporting upsets ever. If the Knicks can get to the Eastern Conference Finals and face Indiana or Cleveland, but more than likely Indiana, that's a wide open door into the, maybe not wide open, but a serious opportunity to the NBA Finals. And then you just never know. You never know what can happen on the other side, man. It might be a banged up Denver Nuggets. It might be a banged up Minnesota Timberwolves. It might be a young Oklahoma City. A young Oklahoma City Thunder. It could be anything, man. I know for sure the Pacers series would be war. It would be absolute war. Maybe a last man standing kind of thing. But we've got to get there first, and we can't let down. We can't let up. Now's the time to capitalize and bring our best game at MSG. Bring our best game. But yeah, a lot of people saying, yeah, Mitchell Robinson, his existence is really affecting what Boston are doing, on the other side. definitely. I really feel like Mitchell Robinson is that X factor that people just disrespected. You know, especially, you don't have to play in major minutes. You could just have him out there, late possessions, and it completely disrupts everything that they're doing right now. Yeah, heads will roll. The Knicks need respect. This shouldn't be all about Boston's collapse and all of that. You have to be a good team to beat a good team, right? And obviously, styles make fights, matchups, and all of that. Boston thought they could just jack threes. We ain't in Kansas no more, Dorothy. This ain't the regular season, man. This ain't opening night, right? Where they just want to run up the court and pull up an open three. That don't happen in the playoffs because teams get tight, teams get shook, and the Knicks have got a big man in the paint now. Alan says time to enjoy the 2 victories in Boston. David says we can't let up now. Let's go. These guys are champs for a reason. Take them out while you can. Yep, definitely, fam. Also, with Drew Holiday getting older, he's got a hamstring injury. Chris Stapp's dealing with respiratory. Jaylen Brown's dealing with knee. Hart's dealing with knee as well. I really think that the Knicks are the favourites right now. I think the Knicks should be the favourites. Maybe not by a wide margin, but this whole, minus 1,000 from Boston, it's definitely flipped right now. We're going to check the odds. We've got 2 days rest, so we'll be back. We'll be talking live before Game 3. But I think right now the New York Knicks should be favourites. When we're talking about the rest of this series and who can take it out. But obviously Game 3 is win or go home. We've even got some Cleveland fans using our victory to clown some Celtics fans. Well, get this. We got Hoodie Garland account going back and forth to the Celtics. The Celtics clowning the Cavs for Halliburton's heroic comeback. But then what happens? Boston go right ahead, man, and choke. You love to see it. Man, these playoffs are really, got people buzzing in terms of just the way it's unscripted right now. Let's hear from Keith Smith on what the Celtics need to do. Keith says, here's what I've taken away from the Celtics so far. Shoot less threes, despite them being open looks. Replacing them with what? I'm not sure. Drives against a packed-in defense with long defenders. Play deep bench guys for a few minutes and hope that changes everything. The answer is to make the open shots they are getting. That's threes in the paint or the handful of mid-range shots. None of this other stuff matters if they shoot better. So, not surprising. Use that great analysis. Just shoot better. Every team that loses a game can just say, yeah, just shoot better. No real adjustments. They're not asking to put Cat in action now. They're not saying, let's bring Brunson into action and spam that. Nobody talking about that no more. Which is crazy. Check this out. We've got the latest Wingstop employees of the month as well. The latest Wingstop employees of the month, man. Dominating, handling their business. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Well done on your performances. And salute to you. Your family is very proud. David says, by the way, if there's ever an opportunity for us to pick up Holiday on the cheap, I sign him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I feel like, and we need to see more, obviously, but I feel like it's getting closer than ever to Drew Holiday being a 6-man. He's still got game, but kind of like Mike Conley, I think where the Timberwolves are at. I think if you want to win a championship now, I think the age is really catching up to him. Rye says Knicks roster has to be feeling confident too. Definitely the fact that this is year one as well. These guys come together just at the start of the season. The fact that there's been bumps along the way, adjusting periods. There's been Mitch out up until March. There's been Brunson missing 15 games. You fortify the 5 spot so that Mitch can have more backup as well. You can play him more minutes. Maybe that's Huck Porty next season. You bring in more ball handlers and shooters off the bench. We're here, man. We're here. We're going to compete. But every year, you don't know what's going to happen with the other teams. That's the thing where it's like, okay, we need to capitalize because we might be stronger next season, but the competition might be stronger or something crazy happens, Maybe Detroit takes a big lead. Maybe the East gets tougher, Maybe we get stronger, but we just don't know. So now we have to capitalize. You give us a 2-0 lead against Boston to get to the ECF. I mean, if I had told any Knicks fan that in preseason, start of the season, All-Star break, at the end of the regular season, man, everyone would have been breakdancing. So we can't sit here with any regret. You got to take care of business now. We're healthy. And yeah, Boston just ain't the same right now. Forget about their shooting streak right now. We're in every single game. They can't put us away, right? It don't matter if they shoot hot. They did shoot hot for stretches and then they went cold. That's what people aren't thinking about. They're looking at the shooting lines after the game. What are you looking at during the game? When you're raining threes and the Knicks are still able to get back into the game, then what are you going to do? How are they going to stop us? Do they have the horses to stop us from getting back into the game, even when they're shooting well? I don't think they do right now, man. They're shook, and the Knicks defense is definitely coming to play right now. That extra little bit of physicality in the postseason is critical. As we look at Tatum's numbers, courtesy of House of Highlights. So Tatum is 36 points, 12 of 42, 5 of 20 from downtown for the whole series through 2 games. Man, elite Knicks defense. Turning out the lights, man, in TD. David says our guys are hitting their primes at the same time too. Yeah, they're hungry. They all come together. The contracts are good. The culture's good as well. Let's keep this thing going, man. I'm hype. We're going to wrap this thing up. It's been a special post-game, man. Like I said, we'll be back either tomorrow night or the next prior to Game 3 and do a preview. Also, join us on Sunday after Game 3, Sunday night. We'll have a guest come through the building as well. But there's a lot still to be said, man. One of the, craziest starts to the playoffs in Knicks history. One of the more crazy series. And New York Knicks grit, man. I'm still surprised, shocked. But the New York Knicks have definitely changed the course of the way these playoffs are going right now. 2-0 lead, capitalize, close these guys out. But the Boston Celtics are the reigning champs, and they're definitely going to try to fight for their life and hit back. They play well on the road as well. Maybe they're due for a hot game, but the Knicks defense will be there. They'll be waiting to make it difficult for this team all. Many blessings to you. Peace. Enjoy this. Live it up. Soak it in. And let's talk soon, everyone. Peace.